What's up, YouTube? It's RJ with Harbuck Media, here to discuss the question, does quality matter? As your business is considering making videos for your digital marketing needs, a question that might be considered is, does quality matter? How much should we invest into equipment and time when we're thinking about making these videos? I try to, at the beginning, give you a quick answer if I can. This one's a little bit more complicated. The answer is yes, quality does matter, but maybe not in the way that you think. Before we get too far into the video though, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified of all of our upcoming content. We're going to continue to discuss this question, this topic of whether or not businesses should create videos in 2022 and then how best to create those videos. So you're going to want to make sure that you are notified of all those videos as we share them with you. And then if you have a question, drop it in the comment section. We'd love to answer it. We can respond to you directly in the comment section, or if it's a good deep question, we might even turn it into a video, and we'd love to be able to communicate with you in that way. All right, let's get started.
Oh, fire and water me, going down deep, sing, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, far beneath. Down to the river.
Okay, so the topic for today is, does quality matter? The answer again is yes, but it's different than you might expect it to be. I feel the best way to discuss this is to break this into three different kinds of conversations. So the first conversation I want to have is just make videos. If you're not already making videos, we just need to get started. That can be with using your phone or using a webcam on your computer, or maybe you have an old camera lying around that you can use to record these videos. The biggest thing here is that we just need to create this video content for our digital marketing needs. Now, we need to also understand that we need to improve upon our quality over time. We don't stay at the video phone level of quality. We do eventually want to invest some money into this to achieve a higher quality, because that low quality will hurt you in the long run. But again, simply using your phone and starting today is better than not using that video content at all. I say this because it's more important that we get started than it is that we invest in a lot of expensive equipment and try to achieve that perfect look and that perfect sound and that perfect content. And if that's our goal, is that perfect look, perfect content, perfect speech, perfect audio quality, we run the risk of never starting, spending a lot of money and continuing to kick this can down the road because we're just not satisfied. And we really just need to start somewhere. We can always grow the platform. We can always increase our quality, and we should, but we just need to get started in the first place. And that leads into the second topic of conversation, which is content over quality. At the end of the day, people are interested in what you have to say. They're interested in what you are showing, if it's a product showcase or something like that. And the quality does matter to some degree in that regard, but what you have to say is more important than the quality. If you have the best camera equipment in the world, the best audio equipment in the world, and you have nothing to say, no one's going to listen. If you don't understand your audience and you begin to bore them with your topics in your videos, this is worse than having really good conversation and really good topics that are recorded on low quality equipment. So in the perfect world, we'd want to have both wonderful equipment and wonderful topics. But again, that content is more important than that quality, especially at the beginning stages. My only hesitancy in saying something like this is that I then don't want you to not make video content because you're worried about whether or not your content will be captivating, or perhaps you're not the greatest speaker, or you're a little stiff when you're presenting. That's okay. You will get better over time. It is a little bit difficult to stare at a camera and pretend like you're talking to someone, even though it's just you in an empty room and a camera. It can be a little weird. It can be a little uncomfortable, but over time, these things become a little more natural and you begin to develop a relationship with the people who are engaging and interacting with your video content. So if you're not really sure what to talk about, it doesn't have to be solely on your shoulders. This would be a great opportunity to incorporate some other people on your team. Or if you're a sole proprietor and you have no one else on your team, perhaps you can include your marketing agency or just the counsel of a friend. It's important that we understand that there is time involved in this. Time to grow your quality, time to grow your content, time to grow accustomed to the filming process. And so we want to get started as soon as possible using whatever equipment we have on hand. Again, growing that equipment over time, and start with the topics that first come to your mind. And as you become more natural, as you become more acquainted with the oddity of recording that it is, you will naturally come up with more content. You will naturally come up with better topics. You will naturally become more accustomed to this recording process and create a higher quality product simply from creating a higher quality content. And then that's where we want to begin to invest in that higher quality equipment to, again, take that high quality content and amplify it with high quality equipment. So the last way I want to approach this is kind of an odd one, but it really comes down to how expensive are your services or how expensive is your product. If you have a higher cost service or a higher cost product, then you need to invest money into your filming and your video process. I'd like to use an example of two different car dealerships to hopefully clarify what I mean by this. And by no means am I picking on these two different brands. I just think that these are good examples to make this point. So let's talk about Ford versus Mercedes, and not think of the companies on the whole, but think about an individual dealership. So Ford is often thought of more as a family vehicle, whereas Mercedes is thought of as a luxury brand. Okay, so using the example of Ford, we would not be surprised to see a Ford dealership just use pictures on their website. Now, we've been talking about here that they should think about making videos. That said, we also wouldn't necessarily expect Ford to go out and buy expensive camera equipment to show you the newest V6 Ford Mustang. We're talking about a 20-something thousand car, and it's not something that we expect them to spend a lot of money on to showcase. I'm sure their overhead isn't really that much on a car that is marked down that low. So we wouldn't be surprised if this Ford dealership were just to use a new iPhone to record their video content if they decided to start making videos. They could do walkthroughs talking about this new car, or maybe they just do a walk around video, a quick 3-minute video showcasing the inside of the vehicle, the trunk space, the engine, and that's it. And we wouldn't be surprised or even blame them for just using an iPhone. That said, if we're talking about Mercedes, which we consider to be a luxury brand, we also consider or would expect that dealership is going to make more money off of the sale of that car than, say, Ford would make off the sale of their cars. And because we as customers expect that Mercedes is going to make more money, we would be disappointed if a Mercedes dealership went out with their phone and recorded these same videos. We would probably expect them to have good, clear image, so the use of a DSLR camera, and then we would expect them to have good, clear audio. If we're watching a video walkthrough of a brand new Mercedes-Benz that costs $120,000 and we can't hear what the person is saying because of the wind blowing, we're going to be turned off to that specific dealership because we think that they're acting cheap. And instead, what they should do is invest just a little bit. It doesn't have to be an astronomical amount of money, but invest a little bit into their equipment at the very beginning so that they can achieve that higher quality image and that higher quality audio right out the gate. And then as a customer, we will feel that they have taken the time and the money to invest in their product, to invest in us. So I understand that that's kind of an odd thing to say, and maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable to discuss of how much money are you making as a business? How much of an overhead do you have on your products? How expensive are your products? And then to translate that into, should I spend more money on my videos up front? But it's true. You got to take into consideration the perspective of your customers. So again, just to recap, just get started. If you're not making videos, you need to make videos. We understand that we would need to invest in our equipment over time, but we need to just start. And then understand that content is more important than quality. If we have to spend energy somewhere, we should spend it developing higher quality content, and then over time invest in that higher quality equipment. And then the last thing again is, how much do you make as a business? If you are making more money as a business, then you should invest in your video equipment up front. Maybe not, again, to an extreme of hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you shouldn't go with a free option or a cheap option either. You should invest a little bit so that your customers have the perspective that you are investing in them, in their experience, and in your content. I hope this video has helped you today. If you have any questions, please be sure to drop them in the comments. I'd love the opportunity to answer them. And like I said, we may even turn it into a full-length video, and that would be awesome. So I'd love to be able to interact with you that way. If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of all of our upcoming videos. Drop us a like. We'll see you next time.
Oh, fire and water me, going down deep. Sing, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, far beneath. Down to the river.